Hello and welcome back, and I'm glad you've all tuned in. And if you're here for the first time, thank you for choosing to click on this video. And for my long-term subscribers, I want to say thank you so much for giving me this time away just to, refresh and get back into more content. So we are here with a new update, and this is exclusive as the first juror who participated in the verdict of the Depp vs. Heard trial has spoken up, and he has done so. So I'm just going to give you a rundown quickly of what he said. So all in all, he said that none of his fellow jurors truly believed Amber. In particular, this anonymous juror, he said that they followed the evidence. So he spoke to Good Morning America to dispel Heard's claims, and he did in fact say that his fellow jurors did not look at social media throughout the trial and were not influenced by it. So this is what he said. So one of the jurors from the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial has broken his silence on Thursday to speak out against Amber's claims that the jury was, of course, caught up in the Johnny Depp charm and that the verdict was unfair, insisting that his fellow jurors followed the evidence and how she made them feel, especially when she got emotional. So speaking to GMA, he said that he and the other jurors were made uncomfortable with how Amber stared them down throughout the trial and that they struggled to believe her because her crying went from absolutely emotional to, in his words, being ice cold. He also denied that her claim that it was a trial by social media, revealing that 3 of the jurors do not even have Facebook or Twitter. And this is a quote. He said, "The crying, the facial expressions, the staring at the jury, all of us were very uncomfortable." The man said, Heard has repeatedly suggested that Depp only won the trial because he is more famous and likable than she is. However, the juror on Thursday said that they reached their verdict based on the evidence of the case. This is a quote. He said, "A lot of her story didn't add up. A majority of the jury felt she was the aggressor, the crying, the facial expressions that she had, and the staring at the jury." And he went on to talk about how she would be crying and 2 seconds later, she would turn ice cold. "Some of us used the expression crocodile tears in quotes," he said. So they followed the evidence and they said they did not believe Depp had ever done anything to Miss Heard. One of the turning points for the jury, he said, was Amber's admission that she had not donated the $7 million divorce settlement to the charity as she has claimed she has done. He called it, in quotes, a fiasco, and added that while Depp's legal team were sharp, he said that Heard had sharp elbows, meaning that they were interrupting each other, and he said that they came off as abrasive. She goes on a talk show in the UK. The video shows her sitting there telling the host she gave all that money away, he said. And the terms she used in the video clip were, "I gave it away, I donated it, it's gone." But the fact is she didn't give much of it away at all, the juror continued. Heard said on the stand that she used the terms pledged and donated interchangeably, and the juror added that he thinks both parties possibly mistreated each other. So I'm going to interject here and say that that was a huge turning point for them when they saw her in that clip saying, she donated the money to CHLA as well as ACLU, and in fact, it turned out, as the lawyers broke it down, she had it for quite a few months and had not donated much of it. Some, of course, as we know, came from Elon Musk, and the other came directly from Johnny Depp's team, who paid it out, I think, $100,000 to both organizations. So, as it was said by Savannah Guthrie, she said this trial was a contest of credibility, and in the jurors' own words, Johnny Depp seemed more believable to them. They talked about the emotional state of both of, Heard and Depp, saying that Depp was more stable in his emotional, state and in his delivery, and that his story kind of made more sense. And of course, we all know Depp did not stare down the jury. In fact, I think he kept his interaction with them to a minimum. He spoke more internally. If you look back at most of these clips, he was kind of reliving it. You could tell he had a lot of internal dialogue expressed in the way that he talked. So of course, this juror is coming out and saying that they followed the evidence. They were not going on social media in the night to keep up with the hashtags. And of course, the judge, Ascarte, she warned over and over again for them to stay away from social media. And they did know at that point that if any of them stepped out of line for any reason, there could be an alternate called in on their behalf of any who stood out of line. And you can imagine they have stayed away from work. They have completely altered their lives to take part in this case. It's something that is substantial. It's important. The things being discussed are important. Why would they ever do something that would jeopardize all of their time that they have spent there and go home scrolling and make a mistake to say something during the deliberations like, I saw this hashtag, it could slip out. So I think they were trying to do their civic duty, follow the rules, follow the evidence. And, of course, as I always say here on this channel, we are not hating on Amber. I think as Camille said in opening, that people saw she's a person who does need a lot of, help in terms of therapy. So this is not about hating on Amber, but it is about talking about the fact that it was in terms of the jury looking at the evidence, looking at what was represented, looking at both of the witnesses, and of course, seeing the credibility. So as you can imagine, he called it a fiasco in quotes when we talk about the donation versus, the pledging. That really for them, it sealed the deal, on top of everything else, the emotional crying and growing ice cold and all that. So he is speaking out, and I'm sure in time we're going to hear from more and more of these jurors. They should have been given the utmost respect. And I think they do deserve it because they did their work So as we all know, as I've said before, they followed the evidence, and he himself and 2 other jurors did not use Twitter or Facebook. And the others did not make a point to talk about it, okay? So the jury sided with Depp, as we all know, and they did in fact order 10 million. But we've heard that she cannot afford it, yet we do hear an appeal might be around the corner. So, of course, let's keep these in your prayers. Of course, they need it. And I would encourage us all, as we're having conversation in the comment section, to just rise above. Of course, let's not hate on Amber. Just, rise above it all. And yeah, so I'm happy to bring you this update. Thank you for all of you who have subscribed and commented and liked the videos. I appreciate that, and shared. I want to say thank you. And thank you to those who support this channel. Above all, thank you to my Patreon, PayPal, and membership supporters. Your support for this channel financially means so much to me. I love you so much. I appreciate you for believing in me. And a special shout out and thanks right now to you, Gail Tapscott, as well as to you, Magdalene JNO Baptiste, as well as to the newest member for this channel, Marcela Buresova. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. I appreciate you so much. And I want to say thank you and welcome. To those of you who'd like to support this channel financially, check out links in the description as well as in the pinned comment. Thank you once again all for watching. I love you from the bottom of my heart, and I will catch you in the next one. Have a blessed one.